Hello, I'm Bob Gardner, Commissioner of the Indiana High School Athletic Association, and I'd like to tell you about a friend to the over 160,000 student athletes in the state of Indiana, Farm Bureau Insurance. Farm Bureau Insurance has contributed over $3 million in the past 10 years to the success of the programs for the student athletes of Indiana. You might not know that Farm Bureau Insurance is the exclusive corporate sponsor of the IHSA, but you would definitely know it if they weren't. We'd like to thank Farm Bureau Insurance for their support of all of our student athletes and their programs.
Lafayette Central Catholic makes its third straight 1A championship appearance. Coach Chad Dunwoody's number 4 Knights won it all in 1998. Sophomore sensations Tyler Best and Russell Trudeau, plus junior Eric Anthrop, lead the team from Lafayette. Number 3 Union Duggar is in the state finals for the first time behind the state's leading scorer, Brody Boyd. He moved past Rick Mount as the state's third all-time leading scorer in last week's semi-state. Coach Joe Hart has announced he will retire after the state title game. Will the Knights be champions again, or will Union Duggar give Coach Hart a great parting gift? Find out next in the 1A State Championship. The Indiana High School Athletic Association proudly presents the 2000 Boys Basketball State Championships.
On this Saturday morning, we greet you from beautiful Conseco Fieldhouse in the heart of downtown Indianapolis for a full day of basketball on the High School Athletic Association television network. I'm Jerry Baker alongside Dave Nicholson, a 25-year head coach and the president of the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame. Dave, we've got 4 games today. 8 terrific teams. It's going to be a big day for the young guys out there.
We've got 8 groups of young men that are very nervous today, Jerry, and 8 coaches, but it's going to be the highlight of their life and something they're going to remember forever.
We'll settle in here and get you 4 state champions momentarily. Stay with us. The St. Vincent's pregame show is coming up next.
The IHSAA Boys State Championship pregame show is brought to you by St. Vincent Sports Medicine, the spirit of caring. Call 338-CARE.
We welcome you to beautiful Conseco Fieldhouse, a brand new facility just opened this spring for the Indiana Pacers and the rest of the entertainment here throughout the city of Indianapolis. It is the 11th facility to host the Indiana State High School Basketball Finals, and we'll talk more about that as the afternoon wears on. Dave Nicholson, let's talk about this Union Bulldog Club. This is an interesting ball club with the state's top scorer.
It is. They come in here today with the leading scorers, you just said, in the state of Indiana. Number 11, Brady Boyd. He's a 5'11 senior, 32 points a game, has already signed at the University of Iowa. In his running mate, number 32, Clark Golish, a 6'2 senior, averages 18 points and 5 rebounds a ball game. The keys to the ball game for Union Duggar today, obviously Boyd's going to have a big game. He's going to have to score his 32 points. Number 2, they're going to have to score off the fast break. And the third, they've got to stay out of foul trouble. Their bench is not nearly as deep as Central Catholic's. Key players for Central Catholic.
Let's get a comment first, though, from the head coach of this Union Duggar Bulldog Club, Joe Hart. He's a veteran. He's been around now for some 20 years, and he talked earlier with us.
In this great arena, it's got to be an exciting time for you.
It sure is. It's exciting for myself and especially for our community and our kids. This is a great place to play.
Everybody's looking forward to getting a look at a special kid in Brody Boyd.
He's a very special player. He does a lot of great things, and we've been fortunate to have him for 4 years. And I think that the people really enjoy watching him play.
The key players for Lafayette Catholic today, take a look at number 40, Russell Trudeau. He's only a sophomore, 6'4". He averages 16 points a game. And on the outside, a 6'8", Tyler Best. He'll wear number 44, and Tyler averages 14 points a game. The keys for Central Catholic today, they need balanced scoring. They've had it all year, and they'll need that this afternoon. Number 2, they've got to find a way to slow Brody Boyd down just a little bit. And they've got to use their bench. They are a much deeper ball club.
Chad Dunwoody is the head coach of Lafayette Central Catholic. Bob talked with him earlier this week.
Coach, congratulations. Great achievement just getting here. I know you're excited about playing Duggar.
Oh, it's a great accomplishment for our basketball team. Had a tough road to hoe to get through the sectional, regional, and semi-state, but we're here in the greatest facility in the world, and our community and school is awfully excited.
All right, let's meet these two clubs, Lafayette Central Catholic and Union Duggar. Let's go across the floor to our PA announcer for the day, Scott Gray.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Indianapolis and Conseco Fieldhouse for the Class 1A State Championship game of the 90th Indiana High School Athletic Association State Basketball Tournament, the greatest tournament in the land. Here are your rosters and starting lineups for today's first game between the Union Bulldogs and the Lafayette Central Catholic Knights. First for the visitors, the Union Bulldogs. Number 12, Jason Dobbins. Number 21, Jason Ledoux. Number 22, Levi Lynn. Number 24, Josh Staley. Number 31, Ryan Smith. Number 42, Michael Bonert. Number 44, Colt Stanton. And the starting lineup for the Bulldogs: at one guard, a 5'11" senior, number 11, Brody Boyd. At the other guard, a 6'1" senior, number 23, Caleb Kleiber. At forward, a 6'2" senior, number 32, Clark Golish. At forward, a 6'3" freshman, number 34, Brandon Chambers. And the center, a 7-foot senior, number 45, Josh Whitgren. Head coach of the 24-3 Bulldogs, Joe Hart. And now your roster and starting lineup for Lafayette Central Catholic. Number 14, Evan Gutzweiler. Number 20, James Morrow. Number 30, Kevin Muller. Number 32, Chad Arnold. Number 34, Christoph Kendrick. Number 42, Joel Presti. Number 54, Burke Richardson. And the starting lineup for the Knights of Central Catholic: at one guard, a 6-foot senior, number 12, Richard Gilman. At the other guard, a 6-foot senior, number 24, Ryan Gilman. At forward, 6'2" junior, number 22, Eric Anthrop. At forward, a 6'8" sophomore, number 44, Tyler Best. And the center, a 6'4" sophomore, number 40, Russell Trudeau. Head coach of the Knights, Chad Dunwoody.
It's the Class A championship with Lafayette Central Catholic and Union Duggar, and we're coming up with the opening tip for this Class A title in just a moment.
The pregame show has been brought to you by St. Vincent Sports Medicine, the spirit of caring. Call 338-CARE.
Along with Dave Nicholson and Bob Nagel, I'm Jerry Baker. Welcome back to beautiful Conseco Fieldhouse. It is a beautiful day in Indianapolis, Dave, but there are going to be a lot of folks, about 18,000 today and 18,000 tonight, that won't get to enjoy that sunshine because this thing is literally a sold-out crowd, and that's terrific.
Well, they won't get to enjoy the weather, Jerry, but they're going to enjoy the day seeing the greatest high school show in the world.
I think you're exactly right. The Union Bulldogs, now forgive me, I grew up in that area. We did not know them as Union. To us, they were the Duggar Bulldogs.
The Duggar Bulldogs.
So if I slip and do that, bear with me. They're in the dark uniforms. Their colors are black and old gold. Lafayette Central Catholic, navy and white. The officials, Mark Hay from Monticello, and Phil Vitito from Yorktown, Indiana.
Well, we talk about the players. I know these officials are excited to get to work the state championship games. I talked to 6 or 8 of them before the game.
It's a reward for them for doing a good job throughout the season. Lafayette Central Catholic gets basketball to begin the game. They'll get the first shot away and put the first points on the board. It's Eric Anthrop, outstanding 6'2" junior, averaging just under 13 points a game. Lafayette Central Catholic with the lead at 2-0. Game just getting underway. Crowd still coming in. You'll see some empty seats from time to time, but those are folks waiting to show up for the AA game, which is next between Westview and Winchester. Here's the ball knocked away, picked up by Cliver. Knocked free again and taken out of there with a big kid. Tyler Best, he averages just over 8 rebounds a game. It looks to me, Dave, but early on that Lafayette Central Catholic has a height advantage out there.
They have the height advantage. They're going to come out pushing the tempo also.
A three-pointer that time, the first of the game for Russell Trudeau. He had 45 threes coming into the game. Wide open look from outside by Cliver. He got it. Caleb Cliver, a 6'1" senior, gets the first points on the board for the Bulldogs.
Here comes a 2-2-1 press by Duggar.
First miss of the afternoon or the morning for Lafayette Central Catholic. They're a club that shoots just under 48.5%. They missed it again. And the rebound and the first whistle of the morning session will be a foul called against Lafayette Central Catholic.
It seems to me like Central Catholic, as I said, really wants to come out and push the tempo of this game. They're putting a lot of pressure on the passing lanes, and they're really pushing the ball down court to try to get it to the basket very quickly.
The sophomore, 6'4" sophomore Russell Trudeau picks up the first personal foul of this morning session. 6:45 to go, opening quarter. It is a 5-3 game with Lafayette Central Catholic, a 22-5 ball club out in front with a 3-pointer from Russell Trudeau and a 2-pointer from Anthrop. Duggar Bulldogs with the basketball. Wide open look in the lane. Dropped inside. There's the put up and good. Josh Whitgren is a 7-footer. Dave, we have not heard much about him because he is, as they would say, a bit of a project. But when you're 7 feet tall, you've got some advantages.
Well, absolutely. And he makes a difference in there in changing shots. And as you saw, can get some scoring done in there as well.
We'll get another personal foul being called here. It's against Duggar. It will be against, I think, Brandon Chambers. It is. That's the first of the morning on Brandon Chambers.
Every time Brody Boyd touches the ball, they're double teaming, and rightfully so. He averages 22 a game. Ryan Gilman, number 24 for Central Catholic, is guarding him, but folks at home might watch. Every time number 11 for Union touches that ball, he's double teamed.
At the free throw line for Lafayette Central Catholic, number 40, Russell Trudeau. He's a 74% shooter, misses the first one. And by the way, if you're wondering, yes, the Gilmans are brothers. Indeed, they are twins, Richard and Ryan Gilman.
Might remember the Trudeau name from Purdue University. This is his son. And Russell has had a great year, averaging 16 points.
They get the ball back and get the layup from Tyler Best. His first couple of points. Yeah, Russell's father is Doug, who played at Purdue from 63 through 66. Another young man of this team who has a name you'll recognize, Kendrick. We'll talk about Kristoff when he gets in the game. Here's the long-range shot off the mark by Cliver. So far, Brody Boyd's not been a factor in this game offensively. Here's the traveling violation as Tyler Best got it down to the baseline. And little head fake and travel with the basketball.
Shuffled his feet, got in a hurry, but if you watch on this scene, one reason we're not hearing about Brody Boyd again is Ryan Gilman's with him all the time right here in front of us. And then when he catches the ball, they immediately bring the second man over. They're going to say someone else is going to beat us today. Brody Boyd is not. There's your double team.
There's a good example right there. You're exactly right, Dave, because two guys were all over him. That leaves somebody free. Here's the pulled-up shot on the left side. It is good, and that's Caleb Cliver. Cliver now with 5 of the 7 points on the board for the Union Duggar Bulldogs, and it's an 8-7 ball game. Lafayette Central Catholic. Here's the three-pointer from long range, and that is Russell Trudeau's second field goal, both of which have been three-pointers, making it 11-7 now in favor of Lafayette Central Catholic.
Well, Trudeau's listed as a center, but he steps out behind that line on a regular basis.
Good looking pass inside. Brandon Chambers gets the field goal. That's one thing that Boyd will do. He is second on the club in assists. He has 134 assists coming into the game. If you double team him, Dave, he's going to get the ball to the open man.
Well, as you know, he's going to Iowa. I talked to Sam Alford last week at the Sema State. He thinks that's going to be his role at Iowa. He can handle the ball and shoot the ball.
Here's the field goal by Ryan Gilman. That's correct. He'll play for Sam Alford and son Steve over at the University of Iowa. And he fits into that program, I would think, beautifully, because a guy like Steve, the way he played, would like a guy like Brody Boyd. Here's the shot on the baseline, and the Union Duggar Bulldogs pick it up again. And that is Golich getting his field goal, his first field goal, first couple of points. 13-11, inside again, Lafayette Central Catholic. And Tyler Best second field goal. This is up and down basketball at the other end. The layup is finally good, and Brody Boyd is in the scorebook for the first time. This young man averages 32.1 points per game, led the state in scoring this year.
I'm a little surprised at the pace of this game, particularly by Duggar, up and down the court. And as you see, Duggar has now dropped into a 2-3 zone.
It's 4 minutes, just under 4 minutes to go in the opening quarter. The long shot is off the mark. Brody Boyd chases it down. He averages just over 2 rebounds a game. Gets it back up court. Here's the layup, up and good. Union Duggar gets the field goal from Clark Golich.
That's going to be Brody Boyd's role in college. He's going to handle the ball and dish, and there's a good example, and that's what the coaching staff sees in him.
Tied at 15, second tie of the morning. 3.5 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Long range shot, nothing doing. Rebound comes off to Tyler Best.
I thought Travis's brother, Tyler Best pushed off a little bit to get that position.
Here's the shot missed, put back up again. Best again, and off the mark, and a foul being called against Union Duggar. Wait for the official call.
I believe that's going to be on Clark Golich, number 32. 34.
And they put it on Chambers. That'll be his second. That's important. Here's a look at it again, Dave Nicholson.
Okay, we see the replay here, and you're going to see Chambers back under Best on this rebound. Right there. You see he came in and really moved him out. That was a correct call.
Lafayette Central Catholic. Here's the first free throw was good by Best. He has 5 points. We'll get some substitutions in the lineup, as will the Union. Coming into the lineup now, Chad Arnold. And 34, Christoph Kendrick. And that is Frank Kendrick's son, in case you're wondering. Frank, of course, quite a player, an all-star, played at Tech High School at Purdue. And now is an assistant to the Purdue Memorial Union director. Both free throws are good. 6 points for Tyler Best. We'll get a timeout. It is the Knights 17, the Bulldogs 15. 3:20 to go in the first quarter for the Class A championship. Welcome back to Conseco Fieldhouse. There's your score. Lafayette Central Catholic up by a deuce. They have led by 5, 2 ties, 5 and 15. No lead changes in this game. And I agree with Dave Nicholson. I did not expect this kind of an up and down game. Yet Duggar averages almost 72 points a game. Lafayette Central Catholic almost 69 a game.
Both teams are capable of putting up the numbers. And you look at the defensive average. Central Catholic's only giving up 58 points a game, and Union Duggar 60. Bulldogs have made the last 5 field goal attempts, so they've clawed right back into this. It's a 2-point ball game.
Yeah, they fell behind early on by 5 points, but have come back strong. And this young man here has only 2 points, Brody Boyd. And again, you see the double team out high.
They're going to do that every time Brody touches a basketball. That leaves the big boy open in deep. If they'll look down underneath, they found him once earlier, but if they'll throw the ball down to Whitgreen, he'll get some baskets.
Nice save by Chad Arnold that time as Lafayette Central Catholic, and there's the height advantage right there, the big 7-footer. Josh Whitgren, a 7-foot senior. No indication where he is headed to college, at least not in my book of knowledge.
Well, you can bet someone will take a chance on him. He's 7 feet tall, as you said. They put a body on him, and some level of college will want to take a project on him.
Here's the three-pointer up and good by Chad Arnold. Arnold had 17 threes coming into this morning's session. Not known for his outside shot, only a 43% shooter on the year. But he knocks home the 3, and it goes back to a 5-point lead for Lafayette Central Catholic. Good cut inside. The pass was there, but was mishandled and comes off to the Knights. They'll push it back up court in a hurry. Well, the pace has really been quick in this game with 2:22 to go here in the opening quarter. Long range shot by Kendrick. And rebound comes off from the near side to Golish.
A lot of youth on that Central Catholic team. Kendrick being a freshman. Trudeau a sophomore. Best a sophomore.
Whoa.
How about that big hook shot?
That's a lost art these days. As you well know, Dave, you coached for 25 years, the last many years at Noblesville, where you had an all-star up there, but nobody wants to shoot the hook shot anymore.
It's a great thing to put in your repertoire, particularly if you're a big guy.
Well, they are letting them play, and the shot is off the mark. The rebound is back up and good. The basket will apparently count, or will it? Indication was 2 shots. If that's the case, the bucket won't count, but the foul, yes, it will. Now they say it will. Josh Straley, who came in during the timeout break, will pick up his first personal foul. That's the 3rd against the club. We'll get a substitution now. Ryan Gilman coming back into the ball game for Lafayette Central Catholic. The basket is good by Christoph Kendrick, his first of the morning, and he will go to the line with a 3-point play.
I think what you're seeing Coach Chad Dunwoody do, he's going to rest the Gilman brothers and have them take turns on chasing Brody. Boyd.
I would think they would have to, Dave, because you can't go a full 32 minutes full out chasing a guy like Brody Boyd, who has only 2 points. In fact, I think he's only taken that 1 shot. We'll double check that for you. A minute and a half to go in the opening quarter. Class A title game. Whitcomb flashes to the inside, and then a baseline cut down deep with nothing going down there. They cannot seem to get the ball inside.
I think they need to find him. He has been open. They've missed him a few times. Nice penetration move there.
The foul is on number 32, Chad Arnold, his first. But you're right. He is. We're talking about the Whitgren youngster. He is open. He flashes inside, and if you don't get the ball to him just when you're supposed to, then you've got a small problem. Let's take a look at it again here. This last play.
Going to see a nice drive here by Cleaver, number 23. It's not available to us right now, so we're going to see Cleaver up there shooting some free throws.
Caleb will get a couple of shots, the first of which is good.
It was great penetration by Caleb. He tucked the ball off the dribble. I think they have to do that and then find the big guy down low.
Cleaver's second free throw shot. He is in and out of there. So he's 1 for 2. Those are the only 2 free throw attempts for this Union Duggar club, and they trail 23-18 right now. 6-point lead just a moment ago is the biggest that Lafayette Central Catholic has had, and they are not bashful about putting it up, are they, Dave?
None of them. They all put it up. They've all contributed throughout the year. We said up front they were the much deeper team, and they're showing that here early in this ballgame.
Lafayette Central Catholic, number 4 in the final AP 1A poll. They had losses, 5 of them this year. Lost to Southwestern, Babuff, McCutcheon, Heritage Christian in double overtime. And also a double overtime loss to Tri Central. 3 of those losses by a total of 12 points. Here's the block by Whitgren. The other 2 were by 10 and 13 points respectively. So they have been in every game. Here's Boyd. Nothing doing. Whitgren comes off with the rebound, puts it up. It's off the mark. The rebound yanked out of there by Lafayette Central Catholic's Tyler Best, the sophomore.
Whitgren needs to come down, gather himself a little bit. He was in great position to put that back. He kind of heard it.
Another block by Whitgren. They had the lead man up court, Brody Boyd, and didn't get it there. Quickly in. Here's Golish. He will get the bucket. It will be wiped off. Offensive foul.
Yeah, that's a good call. The position was established all the way.
Clark Golish, the 6'2 senior, picking up his first personal foul. Union's had 5 turnovers in this game. That would be a 6th right there. And you get the feeling, I guess, Dave, though, with any game, that turnovers will always play an important part.
They're a key to the game, and in tournament play, rebounding, free throws, and defense always come first, but turnovers have got to be in that list somewhere.
We're down to the final 20 seconds of the first quarter of this game. And Lafayette Central Catholic says we'll play for the 1 shot.
Yep, and why not? They're up 5 points, and they got a chance to go up 8 or at least maintain their 5. I think it's a good decision.
In the corner, wide open look down there by Kendrick, and he knocked it home.
Someone forgot to tell him.
That's the 5-point total now for Kendrick. Here's Brody Boyd at the buzzer, misses off the rim, and the Duggar Bulldogs and the Lafayette Central Catholic Knights in a tussle. The Knights lead it 25-18. That's the end of the first quarter. We're playing for the Class A championship when we're live on the IHSA LSC Broadcasting Television Network.
The The IHSA Boys State Basketball Championships are brought to you in part by Methodist Sports Medicine Center. We keep you in the game. And by Steak and Shake, famous for steak burgers.
Bob Rohrman Indy Honda. Bob Rohrman Indy Honda slam dunks the competition with unbelievable prices. Bob Rohrman will meet or beat any price, so they'll give you $500 in cash. That's Bob Rohrman, Indy Honda.
Bob Nagel's going to be with us throughout the day. Bob, you'll be talking with the coaches and have some various guests throughout this morning and evening session.
We are going to do another marathon of interviews, but I tell you what, that's one of the things that makes it fun because it means so much to the people who come back every year to be a part of this.
I talked, Stephanie White, I think, just got over the girls' tournament last week, as a matter of fact. She was a very nice lady, but
Fantastic.
She was a tired lady when that day was over, I'll tell you. Another turnover now by the Union Bulldogs. In that first quarter, Brody Boyd had only 3 field goal attempts, 1 of 3.
That's the difference in the ball game. Brody's going to have to get his shots today, and Central Catholic's going to make that tough with that double team.
Lafayette Central Catholic at 22-5 in the white uniforms. The Union Duggar Bulldogs in the dark uniforms. 25-18 after the first quarter in favor of Lafayette Central Catholic, and they've done a lot of damage right in there. This time the shot won't go, and Whitburn comes out with a rebound. Young man looks like a pretty darn good player to me, I'll tell you what. Here's the move up court, and a really nice job by Caleb Cliver. Cliver getting his 8th point. He's the top scorer now for this Union Duggar Ball Club. He averages only 6.5 points a game.
Yeah, Cliver is stepping up really big for Union today. He needs to because they're putting the clamps on Brody Boyd. Others have got to step up. Golish is going to have to come through also.
Tyler Best with a long-range 3 gives him 9 points. He's now the top scorer for this Lafayette Central Ball Club.
Every time Brody Boyd touches that ball, 2 Catholic Knights come at him.
He fakes to a backdoor cut, and the ball was thrown away, and nice save, but tossed into the hands of Ryan Gilman. Lafayette Central Catholic coming back up court. Ball is knocked away nicely by Clark Golish and out of bounds. 6.5 minutes to go here in the first half.
Got a chance to see Best dribble that ball a little bit. He's 6'8". He played some guard last year. He thinks he can play guard at the collegiate level. He's got 2 more years to develop that. Number 44 for Central Catholic.
Crowd is kind of quiet right now. The pace has been so fast, so up and down. Here's the offensive rebound and the putback by Kendrick.
Just saw
7 for him.
Excuse me, Jerry. You just saw that graphic on the screen. Union shooting 25%.
Good defensive effort that time by Best. He got down to the baseline, and Golish heard him coming, and in the process got a double clutched it and misses the shot.
Nice hustle there by Brody Boyd. He tried to get the timeout, but his foot was already on the sideline. That's a call I think most coaches would like to see get rid of.
Oh, they finally did in the pro ranks. We'll get a timeout here. We'll talk more about that. Timeout taken by the Union Duggar Bulldogs. 6:07 to go in the first half. The Lafayette Central Catholic Knights have their biggest lead. It's at 10 right now. Lafayette Central Catholic 30, Union Duggar 20 with, as I mentioned, 6:07 to go here in the first half. Along with Dave Nicholson and Bob Nagel, this is Jerry Baker. Welcome back to the beautiful new Conseco Fieldhouse. If you have not been here yet for some kind of an event, try to get here. You'll enjoy it. Quite a place. Right now, quite a ball game. And Lafayette Central Catholic expressing themselves offensively with 30 points on the board. But maybe, Dave, more importantly, defensively, Brody Boyd, only 3 field goal attempts and 2 points total.
I think that's the #1 key in the game, the defense that Central Catholic has put on Brody Boyd. That's the key right there.
Lafayette Central Catholic in the white uniforms. Out of course of Lafayette, Indiana. The Knights 22-5 on the season. Get the long range shot. Another offensive rebound by Kendrick. Tossed outside and almost tossed away. Open look in the corner down there by Gilman. Instead got it inside. Double clutched it, but Eric Anthrop picks up the field goal. His second, 4 points. And now the lead goes to 12. And that's the high point of the game lead-wise for Lafayette Central Catholic.
Great looking find there by Gilman.
Golish with the basketball. Now here's Boyd, and again 2 white shirts all over him. Golish thought about the 3 and then makes the pass inside, ill-advised. The passing lane was shut down that time by Gilman.
That's where they've got to look, but they've got to ball fake and make a sharper pass. There is an open player there, but they've got to get it there in a hurry.
Well, that's some great ball movement. Ryan Gilman gets the field goal, and right now Lafayette Central Catholic in a romp. They're up by 14 points. Wide open look outside. Golish And the rebound taken off by Lafayette Central Catholic. They average almost 38 rebounds a game, and they out-rebound their opponents by 10 per game. 26-9 for their opponents throughout the season. Wide open out to the right here. Ryan Gilman got it back inside, and the bucket is up and good by Kendrick. And it's a 9-point total for Kendrick off the bench at a 16-point lead now for Lafayette Central Catholic. Here's Boyd, missing again, put back up by Whitgren, no good, got it again, fires, still won't go, and the rebound taken down by Lafayette Central Catholic's Kendrick.
You've got to be impressed with Central Catholic's ball handling and their crisp passing. They're finding every open player, they're moving without the ball well, doing everything very well right now.
Here's the run. You saw the run, 11-2. They have taken over this game as Lafayette Central Catholic. They continue to add to it, and Eric Anthrop, the 6'2 junior, gets his 6th point of the morning, and right now it is all Lafayette Central Catholic. They lead by 18 points. Duggar has scored only 2 points this quarter. It came on a field goal by Caleb Kleiber. Meanwhile, Lafayette Central Catholics put 13 on the board, and they lead it 38-20. And now you got to be asking yourself, if you're the head coach of the Bulldogs, Joe Hart, how do you stop this, A, and B, how do you get Boyd some shots? They've got to get him some offense in there, Dave.
Well, Jerry, they've got to come down and I think set a few screens for Brody Boyd. He's almost trying to get open by himself. I haven't seen too much screening for him. I know he's a good one-on-one player, but when you're going against 2 players, you've got to set a screen. Then if they double team, there's certainly somebody left open for a good opportunity.
The last numbers we had shooting wise were not good. The Bulldogs were not shooting the ball well. I would think, added to what you just said, Dave, that the other guys on the club have got to start shooting, so at least Lafayette Central Catholic has to go out and recognize them, because right now there's no reason to guard them.
Kleiber stepped up a little bit, but they've got to have more help, and you're exactly right on that point.
Duggar's last field goal came at 7:21 in this quarter. Still missing. Here's Whitgren again. He gets the rebound and knocks it home. That's a half a dozen now for Josh. He averages 9.5 per game. He and Kleiber carrying most of the scoring. Caleb with 8 points so far in this game. Whitgren knocks it away again. Boy, his presence is a major factor defensively down here.
He interferes with a lot of things. Changes shots, deflects passes, and just fills the lane where you can't see the open man.
Union Duggar Bulldogs have been outscored 13-0 over the last several minutes. And a throwaway. This should be a backcourt violation, and it is. One of the few turnovers by Lafayette Central Catholic.
They haven't done that often. They've done a great job of breaking Duggar down with that penetration dribble and then kick the ball.
Lafayette Central Catholic's been here and done that, 3rd straight year in the state finals, but according to Chad Dunwoody, this is a very different team that he had here last year, which won the championship 55-43 over Tecumseh. 2 years ago they lost to Bloomfield 56-48. Here's the ball off the mark. Turn that around. State runner-up last year, losing to Tecumseh, and then 2 years ago winning the state championship over Bloomfield 56-48.
It was interesting, the press conference on Monday, that the coach Dunwoody said he didn't feel like his kids last year were excited to come back to the Dome, but this year with a new facility here at Conseco, he thought they were really motivated. They're playing that way this morning.
Yes, they are. We'll get the offensive foul and the loose ball foul on the big fella, Josh Whitgren. And that will be number 1 on Josh in this game here this morning. Lafayette Central Catholic over the years has won 5 sectionals, 5 regionals, 3 semi-states. And they were at the Dome, which isn't that far from here. Back in November, they won the Class A football championship, which was a repeat from 1976 for the last time they won it. So they know what it's all about, going to the big show.
Year in and year out, they get a lot of good athletes. Here comes a 1-3-1 trap by Union. They'll trap in the corners at the 10-second line and down on the baseline both.
3 minutes to go on this first half. Here's Boyd going one-on-one. That court on Gilman, got the layup. The young man can play. There is no doubt about that. But right now he's getting no help whatsoever offensively, and defensively the Lafayette Central Catholic Club is all over him. Here's the long-range shot. I guess it was a shot. It's off the mark. Tipped up once, twice by Best, and we'll get a foul.
And Tyler drew a foul on that second attempt. Give Tyler Best credit. He missed a shot. He stayed right after it and picked up the personal.
Here's the take a look at the replay here, Dave. And we missed it. All right, we were looking away. we're preoccupied for just a moment here. Here's the first free throw up and good. Tyler Best now 3 out of 3 from the line. 65% shooter on the season. He has 10 points. Averaged 14-1 in 23 games he appeared in this year. Only a sophomore at 6'8".
He was a full-time starter last year on the Central Catholic team that played in the championship. So he's been here before, and I think there's a difference. Central Catholic was here, been here the last 2 years. They're playing like a team that's been here before.
Nothing substitutes for experience, whether it's at the pro level, the college level, or whatever the case may be. And this Union Duggar club is the smallest school in the state finals. Here's the shot. Whitgren puts it back up, missed it, got it again, and stays in there. Josh has been very impressive today. He averages 9.5 points. He has scored 8 in the first half.
Yeah, I give the big guy a lot of credit. He's not the strongest guy in the world, but he stays in there all the time, keeps putting the ball back up, and when he gets it above his head, no one can get to him.
Whitgren this time did not touch the shot, but changed the shot. Here's Brody Boyd up court in a hurry, and Brody now with a half a dozen points. Josh Whitgren has we got a 20-second timeout taken by Lafayette Central Catholic. Josh Whitgren has a problem that a lot of us would like to have, and that is he needs to put on some weight, Dave.
He certainly does, and he will as time goes along. But I tell you what, there's a great shot of the crowd from Union. But since that last time out by Coach Joe Hart, they've cut this lead down to about 6 points.
Brody Boyd getting his third field goal. We were talking about the size of Union Duggar. They have 158 students in their 4-year school. The Lafayette Central Catholic Knights not much larger, 252 members of the Hoosier Heartland Conference. Union Duggar, member of the Southwest Indiana Conference. And the Bulldogs have turned things around a little bit in the last couple of minutes, Dave.
They've got an 8-2 run going over the last 2 minutes. You remember the difference? They came out in this 1-3-1 trap that we're seeing here now. And Central Catholic hasn't thrown it away, but they've forced quick shots and missed. A press can be good. Like, there's a good example. They didn't get the rebound, but a press can work without you stealing the basketball.
It just confuses things, if nothing else.
It makes you hurry, makes you rush. Take shots you shouldn't take.
The basket is good.
Kleiber.
That's Kleiber. He is in double figures now. Caleb with 10. That's much better than his average at 6.4. Down to the final minute of play here in this first half. Here's the ball knocked free and saved by Union Duggar, but the sliding body of number 32 Clark Golich was on the sideline right in front of us here.
Yeah, what great hustle there by Golich. He put his body on the line, didn't quite get a stop before he touched the out of bounds line. But it's been this turnaround's been that 1-3-1 press that we're seeing Union put on. And again, not in intercepting the ball, but I think CC's taking shots that they probably normally wouldn't take.
Henry coming back into the lineup. Trudeau going out now for Lafayette Central Catholic. Less than a minute to play. It's 40-30, 10-point lead for Lafayette Central Catholic. They've had it as high as 18 points. Here's the long range shot from outside, and the rebound underneath is saved and finally out of bounds. Goes off the foot of one of the Central Catholic players, Christoph Kendrick.
I'll tell you what, Caleb Kleiber is playing a great basketball game. He saved that ball, had to where to. You don't want to throw it back in under your opponent's team unless you know where you're throwing it. He knew exactly where he's going. He threw it off the foot of a Central Catholic player.
Lafayette Central Catholic's going 3.5 minutes without a field goal, and Duggar is on a 10-2 run, but here's the steal down in the corner. And the baseball pass up court, and somebody forgot about Eric Anthrop. He'll get the uncontested layup. Eric with 8 points, 6 of them in this period. We're down to the final 20 seconds of play in the first half. 42-30. Long-range three is up and good by Brody Boyd.
You don't have to ask who that was with that kind of range.
He has 106, 115 coming into the game. That's remarkable. Here's the left-handed put up by Anthrop. And that's 8 points for him in the quarter, 10 in the afternoon or the morning. Here's Brody Boyd trying to get it away. He will not. And that is the end of the first half of play. We saw a change in that second quarter. Lafayette Central Catholic got out in front by 18. Then the Union Duggar Bulldogs went into a bit of a pressure defense. That stopped them momentarily, but they've got some breathing room now. At the end of the first half of play, it's Lafayette Central Catholic 44, Union Duggar 33. Let's go out on the floor now momentarily. We'll come out and get the comment from Bob Nagel. Bob?
We're here with Coach Chad Dunwoody, and Coach, congratulations. You got out to a great start. If you had any better balance, you needed to scale early on.
Well, it was a good job by the kids. We knew we had to get out to a quick start, but they came back on the second quarter. They're playing real well. We're going to have to tighten our defense. We got to knock down some shots. We're worried a little bit about Whitgren trying to change our shots inside. We just got to go right at him and get some fouls called.
Both teams off to a tremendous pace offensively. More emphasis on D in the second half?
Well, absolutely. Defensive rebounding is always our emphasis, and hopefully we keep shooting the ball well. We can get out, get in our transition game, get some easy buckets.
Good luck the second half.
Thank you very much.
All right, Chad Dunwoody, the head coach of Lafayette Central Catholic, here with us. Jerry Baker, he's working up a sweat. He may have to tape his ankles for the second half.
It has been up and down, Bob. You're exactly right about that. And finally, Brody Boyd kind of busted free momentarily with 7 points in that second quarter for a 9-point first half. Cliver led the Union Duggar scoring with 10. A couple of double-figure scores for Lafayette Central Catholic. Eric Anthrop with 10, and Tyler Best led the way with 11. We have a halftime show coming up, and Bob will have more fine guests. 44-33 Lafayette Central Catholic.
The IHSA Boys State Basketball Championships are brought to you in part by Light of the World Christian Center and by Ball State University. Everything you need, visit them at bsu.edu.
It is a beautiful Saturday, still morning here in Indianapolis. So there's your halftime score with Lafayette Central Catholic up by 11. They led at 1 point of the first half by as many as 18 points. They have been dominant in this game. The ties, only 2 of them, one at 5, one at 15. Union Duggar has never led in this ball game. Bob Nagel is standing by right now. Let's go back to Bob.
Joe Hart, head coach, Union Duggar. Tough start. Got to give Lafayette Central Catholic credit. They double-teamed your guy, but you guys really bounced back in that final 4 minutes.
We had a lot of trouble in the first half keeping them off the offensive boards. If we can remedy that, I think we can get back into the game. But, to give them credit, they did a good job of that, and they did a good job of containing Brody.
They had some good balance offensively as well. Is there any place you can go to stop that thing, or you just got to play them all head up?
Got to keep them off the boards. They got a lot of second shots and made second opportunity baskets on us. If we can stop that, I think we'll be all right.
Coach, good luck in the second half.
Thank you very much.
Interesting he would say that because the offensive rebounds actually are not that different. 9 for Lafayette Central Catholic and a half a dozen for Union Duggar. Let's take the statistical look at the first half here. Dave Nicholson.
Okay, for Union Duggar, they're shooting the ball very well. They're just turning it over a few too many times with 11 turnovers. They're 15 of 30 for 50%. Lafayette Catholic 17 of 39 for 44%. So actually Union Duggar is shooting the best. 3-point shooting, Union Duggar 2 of 6 for 33%. Lafayette Catholic 4 of 11 at 36%. A big number there, 11 turnovers for Union Duggar, only 3 for Lafayette Catholic. Rebounds 17 apiece. Free throws, Union Duggar didn't get to the line but twice, hit 1, and Lafayette Catholic hit 6 out of 7, shot very well there.
All right, the second half is about ready to go. It's Lafayette Central Catholic up by 11, 44-33, and we'll return with the second half tip-off in just a moment.
The IHSA Boys State Basketball Championships are brought to you in part by Indiana State University, the way college is supposed to be, and by Farm Bureau Insurance. Solutions you need from a company you know.
Welcome back to Conseco Fieldhouse. Lafayette Central Catholic just tossing the ball in. They have the lead by 11 as we begin the second half of the Class A High School Boys Basketball Championship. Boy, you look down at that lower left-hand corner. They had a player wide open. Terrific defensive play by Clark Golish. Golish has had a pretty nice first half, not necessarily scoring-wise, but trying to pick up some of the slack with Brody Boyd getting himself double-teamed at every opportunity. Boyd trying to run the baseline area, has the basketball down there, and Richard Gilman all over him. Will get the shot away and knock it home for 3. That's the 12th point of the game now for Boyd, his second three-pointer.
That was one of the problems I thought with Brody's first half. I didn't think he forced the issue. He passed the ball too easily. Take the play at them, make them foul you, or take your shot.
At the other end, a wide-open 3 is off the mark this time by Ryan Gilman. Taken off the board by Lafayette Central Catholic. Jumped ball, held ball, and the possession arrow will give it to Union Duggar. You know, sometimes a kid like Boyd, who we talked about is second on the club in assists with 134, won't force the issue, but this is a case, Dave Nicholson, where I think he has to force the issue.
Well, when you're scoring 32 points a game, you got to force the issue, get yourself to the foul line. He's such a weapon. He scares you to death as an opposing coach every time he touches the ball.
He is running free to the top of your screen right now. Now has it out on the point, out of the center circle. Good bullet pass inside, and the shot is blocked and just ripped out of there by Tyler Best. Best had 6 rebounds and 11 points in the first half. At the other end, the missed layup by Russell Trudeau. Union Duggar will get it back up court in a hurry. Cliver down to the corner and back out long range to Clark Golich. They tried to go into the big fella, Josh Whitgren. He couldn't handle the pass, and Lafayette Central Catholic's got it again. Baseball pass up court, stolen by Boyd. Boyd will pull up for 3. Off the mark, Whitgren chases it down in the corner, and then it's bobbled, and a nice touch pass by Brody Boyd. Here's the blocking foul called against Lafayette Central Catholic.
Excellent series there by Union. Boyd just touch pass down and directed to the basket. You're going to see the replay. Central Catholic defender, you're going to see him slide over. Here's the touch pass by Boyd, a great pass. And you saw what happened there. Anthony tried to slide over and did not have position. Good call on the blocking foul.
Foul is on Eric Anthrop. That is number 1 on the 6'2 junior. Union Duggar will inbounds beneath their own hoop. 6:11 to go here in the second half. Just getting underway, and the inbound pass is not good. Stolen by Tyler Best. Dropped off in the corner. Back to Best. Layup good. Nice ball movement by Lafayette Central Catholic. Best now with 13. Here's a foul at the other end against Lafayette Central Catholic.
Be a common foul, so they'll take the ball out. Boyd did make the shot, but it was before the attempt.
Foul should be on Ryan Gilman. And that is the first of the morning on Ryan Gilman, the 6-foot senior. Averaging 5.5 points, 2.5 rebounds per game. Couple of minutes gone here in this third quarter. And the lead belongs to Lafayette Central Catholic. What a good looking pass inside from Boyd, and Whitgren simply couldn't handle it.
Whitgren's got to handle that one. He was all alone and it hit him right in the hands. And that's a result of a double team again on Brody Boyd. Central Catholic's not changing a thing, and I can see why they wouldn't. They're leading by 10, and that's what got them the lead.
If you joined us late, Lafayette Central Catholic at 22-5, led by as many as 18 in the first half of this game. Union Duggar came back, made it respectable. Here's the flip pass up court. Brody Boyd chasing it down. 2 white shirts on him. Here's the wild shot, which was mainly designed just to draw the foul, which is what it did.
Brody showed excellent body control, but taking that ball to basket, protected the ball well, turned his body to shield it. You're going to see a replay on that, and you're going to see the body control of Brody Boyd on this move. There it is. There's the steal. Boyd releases, throwing it out to him, and watch him turn his body here on the defender. And no choice but to commit the foul if you're Eric Anthrop.
And he misses the first of 2 free throws. He's a 79% free throw shooter coming into this morning's game. He has a dozen points now. He has struggled. Shot only 4 of 7 in the first half, and he got double-dipped at the free throw line.
You won't see that often.
No, you will not.
Brody Boyd.
5:25 to go now. Third quarter of play. Class A championship is on the line. Eric Anthrop with the basketball. Flips off to Gilman. Gilman going back inside now to Anthrop, and he will miss the shot. The rebound is fought for, out of bounds to Union Duggar.
Good call, but give Russell Trudeau credit. He's very active on the offensive boards. Big number 40 there for Lafayette Catholic.
Union Duggar, number 3 in the final AP 1A poll. They have won 13 sectionals, 2 regionals, 1 semi-state. Their last regional win was in 1930. So they've gone back a couple of years. Here's Brody Boyd, got it, and got knocked to the floor with no foul call.
We talked about setting a screen. That time they got the screen set for Brody, and he got the shot off. I think they need to do more of that.
And now the Bulldogs have started to work their way back into this game. Here's the rebound taken off by the big fella Whitgren. Here's Boyd up court, chases it down, makes the save, then threw it away, but gets a break. Here will Boyd again, off the mark this time. Rebound taken off by Whitgren, back up and good. And Josh now with double figures. He has 10. And all of a sudden, here comes the run.
Going to see a timeout by Chad Dunwoody.
Dunwoody says, I've seen all this I want to see. 4.5 minutes to go, third quarter. What at halftime was an 11-point lead has dwindled to 5. It's Lafayette Central Catholic 46, Union Duggar 41, with 4:28 to go here in the third quarter for the Class A title. We welcome you back to Conseco Fieldhouse. And yeah, at halftime it was 44-33. Union Duggars on a bit of a rip right now, and the Bulldogs mascots enjoying every minute of this.
And who else brought them back, Jared? Brody Boyd has scored 11 of the last 15 points for Union. I'd get him the ball every time. I'd send him to pick up top of the key. If he doesn't have the shot, he'll find the open man because he sees the court and he's a great passer as well.
Dave and I were talking. I said I'd wear calluses on his hands, boy. I'm telling you what, because this kid can flat shoot the basketball. And give Lafayette Central Catholic credit because their defense took him pretty much out of the flow of the game in the first half. Kendrick with the ball out high. This is Anthrop. Over in the corner they go now to Chad Arnold, who came off the bench, and here's a steal. Whitgren gets it out in a hurry to Brody Boyd. Boyd all the way in for the layup. Got it! And Brody Boyd has put 8 points on the book this quarter, 17 for the day, and suddenly 46-43.
15 here in the second half.
He's had a terrific game of late. Here's the shot at the other end, and that will stop the bleeding momentarily. Kendrick with his 11th point of the ball game. Now we'll see what Lafayette Central Catholic is made of, because as I say, they had an 18-point lead at one time. It dwindled down to a 3, and now it's at 5. Here's the miss in the corner. Loose ball picked up by Lafayette Central Catholic. They'll have a little trouble getting it across the line. I think that full court pressure is also having an impact. There's a steal right there. Here's Boyd, a little one-on-one. The layup is good as he and Clark Golish combine.
Great steal by Golish. He got the benefit of it. Boyd give it back to him. He deserves that basket. And we've got a 3-point danger.
Golish's first field goal since the opening period of this game. Down to the final 3 minutes of the third quarter. It will stop and go inside, but they're going to get a foul. I thought he did also, Dave.
If I thought he took a hop there, the officials got the big boy for a foul. That's only number 2 on Josh Whitman.
Nobody in serious foul trouble on either of these clubs. Nobody with more than 2. And Lafayette Central Catholic will be at the line. They were a 69% shooter from the free throw line as a team on the season. Kendrick has been there one time back in the first quarter and knocked it home.
Pretty good looking freshman.
He is. We mentioned earlier, in case you weren't with us, that his father is Frank Kendrick, and Frank, a good friend of mine forever, played at Purdue. He was an Indiana All-Star at Tech High School. And now the assistant to the Purdue Memorial Union director, and rumored to be moving into the CBA as a head coach.
Yeah.
You don't think he'd be great? Don't think he spent any time with his son out in the driveway with that basketball.
In fact, I can see some similarities, and I haven't seen Frank play in a long time. Nice move, and the shot is off the mark by Whitgren. He did a good job getting free for the shot and then missed it.
You've got to take those.
Here is Kendrick getting inside, little double clutch, and you can hear the smackler over here. Somebody got him.
Mike Reserve Pontiac at the corner of Main and Earl in Lafayette has great deals on Isuzu, Mercedes, Audi, and Volvo. Mike Rezier supports the Knights of Lafayette Central Catholic. Glad to be with us supporting high school basketball today.
Well done, Bob.
Thank you.
Really smooth.
Well, I'll tell you what, you should be supporting these Knights. It's a great basketball game.
You got that right. That foul, by the way, was against Duggar, was on Cliver. And that was his first.
Christoph Kendrick is kind of making a living at the free throw line. He's got a chance to go for his 4th consecutive here.
And he will get it. He has scored 6 of the 8 points that Lafayette Central Catholic has here in the second half. It's 52-45, a 7-point margin for Lafayette Central Catholic. Duggar got the lead down to 3 moments ago.
If you're Joe Hart of Duggar, you've got to be a little discouraged because you make the run and then CC comes right back and answers it.
Exactly. Nice move inside by Clark Golish, and a personal foul called against Central Catholic.
There's your replay. Good hard take there by Golish to the basket, and he clearly got smacked on the arm.
The foul was on Christoph Kendrick. That is number 1 on the day for Kendrick. A couple of free throw shots on the way. The first of which is good for Golish. His first trip to the line here today. He's a 74% free throw shooter. He has 7 points so far. Averages just under 18 per game, and they need to get him on track also.
You expect more out of him in the next 10.5 minutes.
52-47. They get it inside to Tyler Best. Best has had a really nice game. Tyler now with 15 points, and that may be one of the deficiencies of Josh Whitgren. He cannot seem to handle Tyler Best.
I think you're right. He can handle him, but Tyler did a great thing there. He started to take it up on the left side of the basket, used the basket actually, and went under and brought it back from the right side.
Ryan Gilman picks up the personal foul. We'll take a look at the replay here.
Okay, you're going to see Gilman get the bump foul. He's riding him with the left hand. You know, Boyd on the dribble is just a handful, and he had his hand pushing him on the waist.
And there is Boyd from long range. Long offensive rebound to Golish. Golish inside, got bumped, got the shot, and could not get the roll. Whitgren keeps it alive.
Great effort.
Absolutely. Here's Brody Boyd again. Well, you can't give him any time to get squared up, because if you do, he's going to knock that thing home. He has 4 field goals this quarter, 3 of which are three-pointers.
If anybody was wondering why Central Catholic was double-teaming Brody Boyd, they're seeing why in this
quarter.
quarter.
They ought to know now, you betcha. Foul called against Union Duggar. The foul is on number 23. That is Kleiber. That'll be 2 on him. Brody Boyd, as we mentioned earlier in the telecast, headed for the University of Iowa. And he will get those shots at that college level, because that's the way Steve Alford will run him off the picks and the screens, and he'll get some shots up there.
He's going to be surrounded by people that you can't afford to put 2 people on him all night.
Good point.
So he will.
There's a nice baseline move by Best again. He looked right, went left, might have got caught with a little offensive hook around the defender, but he got by with it, and he has 17 points here. A minute and a half to go here in the third quarter of play. Ball's tipped out of bounds, will belong to Union Duggar, with a 56-50 lead for Lafayette Central Catholic.
I watched Tyler Best play last year. He's 100% improved as a player, handling the ball better, and the thing he's doing is learning how to play down inside. He liked to play on perimeter last year, but he's got some excellent post moves.
That was interesting. The inbounds pass that time came right into Clark Golish, and as soon as he got it, he started looking for Brody Boyd. So obviously that's the game plan here in the second half. And we'll get a quick foul on Kleiber. And now Caleb with 3.
I'm sure that Brody Boyd has faced this type of thing throughout the season, throughout his career. I'm sure every opposing coach and every opposing team set their whole defense around him. So he's seeing nothing this morning he hasn't seen before. And he's kept his composure very well, just kept playing, and is coming up big here in the second half.
Brandon Chambers, we'll check it. Josh Straley will come into the lineup now and replace Caleb Kleiber. Now, Brody Boyd had 43 against Attica in the White River Valley Regional. 31 against number 5 Tecumseh in the semi-state. At the other end, he'll pick up a couple more, and he has scored all but 6 points for Union Duggar here in this quarter. Down to a final minute to go in the third quarter. Wide open look in the corner. Trudeau, and a 3-pointer by Russell. His third. All 3 of his field goals have been 3-pointers. A near steal, but Union Duggar comes out of there with it. They got the ball to Boyd again. Little hook shot, if you will. Loose ball picked up now by Lafayette Central Catholic. In that Greencastle semi in the Jacksonville game, Brody Boyd had 27, but Golish had 14 points and 11 rebounds, and Whitgren 11 points and 14 rebounds.
We saw Russell Trudeau there just go directly over the top. And I was watching the NC2A playoffs last night, and I saw a play just like that. That was so obvious, I believe Bob could have made that call.
well, I'm not sure I want to go that far with that.
And I don't look good in stripes, fellas.
37 seconds remain in the third quarter of this Class A championship game, and what looked to be a blowout turned into a decent game. Well, Boyd made a cut, then turned around and came the other way, and the pass went in that direction on Clark Golish, and Golish and Boyd discussing that little matter.
Well, that very near turnover there, and Union has had almost 2 unforced turnovers in the last 2 possessions prior to this.
Here's Boyd on the inbounds play, which was designed to get him the shot. He did get the shot, missed it. 3-on-2 break now for Lafayette Central Catholic. Almost an uncontested layup is off the mark by Kendrick, and Union Duggar digs it out. Here's Boyd back at the other end. He got it and draws the foul.
Best got there just a little bit late, Tyler Best, and hammered him, and Boyd again knows how to protect himself when he goes up and protect the ball.
It's interesting. Let's take a look at the replay again here, and where I wanted to go with this was what's happening here. It looks to me like Brody Boyd, as soon as something happens offensively for Lafayette Central Catholic, Boyd's releasing, Dave.
He is, and that time, if you remember, he was knocked to the floor when he shot the 3, and he never crossed the 10-second line. Central Catholic came down, shot it so quickly, and give Golish credit. He just grabbed the ball and fired it to him. They've done that before, you can tell.
So Brody Boyd, the #1 scorer in the state at 32-1, is 0 for 2 from the line. In tournament play, I mentioned 43 against Attica in the regional, The kid can shoot outside. He had 10 3-pointers against North Knox on the 30th of November and 10 against Clay City on the 22nd of February. He has 15 points in this quarter.
One of the things that Duggar has in their reserve for today is the fact that this is Joe Hart's last game as head coach. There's going to be a little extra juice for Duggar in that fourth quarter, so Lafayette Central Catholic has let their lead slip away to just 4.
Here's a quick foul on Brody Boyd.
Yeah, I think that's his first, Jerry, so it's no problem. He's a smart player. He's not going to get himself in foul trouble. But in commenting on what Bob said about Joe Hart, you know, he quit once before and then came back.
Well, only quit if it works.
That's right. So you never know. Joe may decide after a little rest he'll come back again because he's done that before. But he's been there 20 years, done a wonderful job.
He's not the only one that's quit and come back either.
We've all done that.
We've all done that. Yeah,
Joe's won
down there.
Yeah, 291 wins against 165 losses. Great career.
64% winning percentage. Here's the miss by Kenrick. Here is Boyd at the buzzer. And through 3 quarters of play, we've suddenly got ourselves a ball game again. It was an 11-point lead at halftime, 44-33. Lafayette Central Catholic. Union Duggar made it a game. We go to the fourth quarter with Lafayette Central Catholic on top by 4, 59-55 on our television network.
The IHSA Boys State Basketball Championships are brought to you in part by Methodist Sports Medicine Center. We keep you in the game. And by Steak and Shake, famous for steak burgers.
You saw a good look at the RCA Dome, and next weekend that baby will be hopping, will it not, with the NCAA championships, Dave?
What a great thing for the city of Indianapolis to host the Final Four. It will be hopping.
And we shouldn't show any prejudicial attitude, but let's wish the Purdue Boilermakers the best today because they represent the great state of Indiana.
Absolutely. I love G. Cady and how he coaches, and I hope he gets to the Final Four. He deserves it. He's had an outstanding career.
Yeah, he certainly has, and a truly nice man on top of that. Here's the drive down the lane as the fourth quarter gets underway. The loose ball fought for and going out of bounds.
In that third quarter, Union outscored Lafayette Catholic 22-15. Brody Boyd had 16 of those 22 points in the third quarter.
Brody had in that quarter a half a dozen field goals, and 3 of the 6 were of the 3-point variety, so he has 25 points on the day. And the fourth quarter was underway, but still Lafayette Central Catholic has the lead, and the rebound on the floor, and somebody got pushed through off the edge of the
That's
floor.
A clear push.
Rather obvious, I would think.
Yeah, that's on number 32, Clark Golish, and he took a pretty good push. He said, you know, it's now or never. I'm down 4. I need the basketball.
That's the second foul on goalies, by the way. Team foul number 6. Lafayette Central Catholic in the white uniforms. Given inside, shot missed. Wichgren had a hand on it, could not hang on to the ball.
Great
Russell
pass
Trudeau comes out with it.
By Tyler Best there, just a great interior pass. He stepped through the double team. Third man came over and he dropped it down low.
Whitgren will get his third personal foul. So he and Cliver now each with 3. And Eric Anthrop will be at the free throw line for Lafayette Central Catholic. I was talking earlier about how they won the Class A football championship, and this young man, Anthrop, was the quarterback on the championship football team. And the interesting thing is, you get the feeling what you read about him that baseball is his real passion.
Well, he's a good-looking athlete, very strong, very physical.
Some of the fans thought it should have been an overback violation. Here's a foul quickly again being called against Union Duggar.
You know, I think Union's got a complaint there. I did not see anyone touch that ball. Not picking on the officials, but we've got a pretty good vantage point here. I think they might have had a point over and back.
We were talking earlier about the officials. Mark Hay, who is one of the refs, is also the head football coach at Twin Lakes.
Monticello, Indiana, up on the lakes.
First free throw shot is good by Chad Arnold. Arnold's first trip to the line today. 71% on the year. And the lead goes back to 5 again. Union Duggar chopped it down to 3 after trailing by 18.
I still think Joe Hart's got to feel pretty good about his Union ball club after being down big time and getting it down to 5 points and now 6. they're going to be fine.
Here's that double team on Boyd. He'll fire and score anyway. I thought it was interesting when Bob talked to him at halftime. Even though they were down by 11, you got the feeling like he felt things were okay.
He's not the kind of guy that gets too high or too low. He's pretty level. We got a 3-point game and a turnover. They got a chance to tie the ball game.
Let me tell you what happened right there. A terrific defensive play by Clark Golish. He stepped into the passing lane, and they double clutched it and drug the pivot foot.
And that's why you don't want to throw one-handed passes. Unless you can palm the ball, there's no way of pulling that back, and you're going to travel or lose the ball.
61-58. Here's the pass inside to Whitman. He bobbles the ball, but it's saved by Union Duggar. They're trying to find Brody Boyd, and why not? He has 28 points now. Here's the lob to Whitman. They doubled on him briefly, threw it back outside. Boyd makes a nice save. Bad pass by Josh. Behind the back dribble now by Trudeau. Given inside, and we'll get a blocking foul against Union Duggar. Off the deck was Clark Golish, and I believe that's where they'll put the foul. That
You're
is
right,
correct.
Jerry.
And that'll be 3 on him now. So 3 of the Bulldogs have their 3 fouls.
There's a replay, and you're going to see that Golish just doesn't have time to slide over. That's a good call. Down at the other end, you'll never believe what a great athletic move it took for Brody Boyd to save that ball from going out of bounds a second ago. He wasn't able to get it back in his teammates' hands, but what a great effort.
It's 11 points now for Eric Anthrop. The thing they need right now is for Whitgren either A, to score some points, or B, to hang on to the basketball, because a couple of times he's let the ball get away or made some bad passes.
I tell you what's about the big guy, though. He doesn't get frustrated. I love that about a kid. When, you know, he doesn't have the greatest hands or strength yet. He will have someday, but he stayed in there. He keeps fighting for the ball. He keeps wanting the ball. You got to love that in a high school athlete. You can't get your dauber down. You can't get frustrated. Can't get discouraged, particularly when you're 7 feet tall, because he's going to grow into that body someday.
Brody Boyd dribbled himself into jail right in front of the scorer's table over there. Defensively, Richard Gilman and Chad Arnold were there. Bob?
We want to thank the folks from Noble Romans for being a proud sponsor of today's action and helping to feed our crew during the afternoon, and we appreciate their support. It's organizations like Noble Romans that allow us to bring you these games, and we appreciate their support.
See, I knew you'd work food in there somewhere.
I get all the food reads,
I knew
partner.
that was going to happen.
You saw Eric Anthrop there while Bob was doing that read for the pizza. Just lose the ball and go. It went off his foot, so Union has the ball back, Jerry, and they only trail by 5. I got to think again. Joe Hart's pretty happy.
All right, we'll take a timeout with 6:09 to go. It's 63-58 with Lafayette Central Catholic out in front. There's a great look at Conseco Fieldhouse. A couple of things have happened over the last few minutes. First off, Lafayette Central Catholic, Dave, has missed his last 6 field goal attempts. And at the other end, Brody Boyd is on fire. He has scored the last 11 Union Duggar points, has 28 so far today.
Still trails by 5, so I think, yes, they just keep giving Brody Boyd the ball. We talked about that about 8 minutes ago, and being a good coach that Joe Hart is, he listened to us. He's giving the ball to Brody, and why not?
Here's a nice defensive play turned in by Russell Trudeau, and now the foul.
Foul's going to be on Tyler Best, his second, I believe. And give Golish credit. He just stayed in there, used a fake, used a ball fake. You're going to see it on the screen. Watch Clark Golish, young players. What's this? When he gets the rebound, now watch him fake. Learn to use the fake. There you go. Crossover, stepped out of it, protect the ball, and drew the foul from Best.
Clark Golish is at the line. He reached the 1,000 career point mark back on the 14th of January against Shakamak. This is the first free throw. Union Duggar has not had many free throw attempts in this game, and they're a 72% shooting club.
Excellent shooting club. I remember earlier Brody Boyd missed a couple, and Golish missed that one. Golish is 74% on the year, so he's very, very good at the line.
Mark Golish now 3 out of 4 from the line, 9 points on the day, 63-59 with less than 6 minutes to go. Here's the long range shot. The 3 is up in the sky, and it is good by Chad Arnold. Arnold has only 2 field goals in the game, both of which have been 3-pointers, so he has 8 points on the day. And as you pointed out earlier, every time Duggar has made a run, Lafayette Central Catholic has answered.
Well, they're just a deeper ball club. They've got more weapons, and they're using them.
Here's the steal. Actually, defensive play by Boyd. Reached in behind him. Nice behind-the-back dribble by Kleiber. And Caleb now with a dozen, and those are his first 2 points in the second half. It's a 5-point game again at 66-61 with 5:10 to play in the game for the Class A championship. With the basketball, Lafayette Central Catholic. The toe I thought was on the line, but the rebound is knocked free anyway and picked up by Union Duggar. Union Duggar has had Josh Straley off the bench, and unless my notes are wrong, that's the only substitute that Joe's gone with in this game.
Well, they're just not nearly as deep as CC.
Brody Boyd fouled by Richard Gilman. That's the first on Richard, and you can't fault him because actually the ball was just kind of thrown back there, and Boyd was trying to chase it down. Gilman had no idea where it was.
Here's a replay on that, and you're going to see Boyd just get the ball and kind of cross over here.
11, Brody Boyd at the line with 1 and a bonus.
There's the pass, and actually
now there's the foul right here. And you see Brody was cutting to the ball, and you're right. You can't blame Gilman. He just was a little out of position when Brody Boyd caught the ball.
These could be big free throw misses. Brody Boyd missing the front end of that shot. That's 3 out of 4 he has missed. Here's Whitman keeping it alive. They had Boyd up court again, and a reach-in foul called against Lafayette Central Catholic. And it looks to be on Eric Anthrop. And it is, and that'll be 3 now on Eric. He becomes the first Lafayette Central Catholic Knight to get himself any kind of foul trouble.
Well, what happened, Eric Antrim went down the middle, missed an easy layup, and watched the rebound. There's the take by him. He thought he should have made that. It rolled everywhere but in, and you saw the big guy Whitman go over the top, and out of frustration almost, Eric Antrim tried to take the ball from him and got the pushing foul.
All right, we're in the double bonus situation now, and Whitman will get 2, the first of which is off the mark. He's a pretty good free throw shooter percentage-wise at 68%, but Union Duggar has not done well at the free throw line here.
You made that point a minute ago, and that's so important, Jerry. They have missed 3 or 4 opportunities here at the line. They could have this down to a 1 or 2 point game by just making free throws. And when you're playing with limited manpower against a team that's much deeper on the bench, you got to knock the free ones down.
Josh Whitgren, a move in from Lake Central High School, now with 11 points to his credit. The average is 9.5 per game. We're down to the final 4 minutes and 20 seconds of this ball game, and it's 66-62. Lake Central, or Lafayette Central with the ball and the lead, and adding to it.
That was interesting. Josh Whitman just turned his back on Best and started to check him out instead of getting his hands up and guarding the basketball on Best take to the basket.
Ryder now with 19 points, 8 of these in the second half. Ball's in the hands of Clark Golish. Golish and Brody Boyd have handled the ball a great deal this game. There's the shot that's off the mark, and the rebound taken off again by Lafayette Central Catholic, averaging 38 rebounds per game as compared to the opponent's 27. And we'll get a timeout. One of the Lafayette Central Catholic players is down. That's Kendrick.
Yeah, he got hit on the head, I think, with an inadvertent elbow just above the eye. He's holding on the left side of his forehead. I think he'll be fine. He's walking and shaking it off, but he's going to come out of the ball game for a little bit of rest.
Anthrop will come in off the bench for head coach Chad Dunwoody. Lafayette Central Catholic, John Budzinski, Sean Martin, Billy Shepard, David Funk, Brooke Joslin, and Tim Bullis are the assistants. Union Duggar with Sam Carr and Steve Muir as the assistants to head coach Joe Hart. Now time is becoming a real ally, if you will, of Lafayette Central Catholic. They are up with 3:40 to go. And here's the ball in the middle, knocked free in a scramble, and we'll get a timeout, I believe. It'll be a 22nd timeout taken by Lafayette Central Catholic.
Heads up play by Russell Trudeau. He was on the floor in no man's land. They were certainly going to at least tie him up and maybe lose the ball or call a travel on him, and he took the timeout. That's a case I usually don't like to see a player waste a timeout, but I thought it was a good one at that point.
And we talked earlier about this timeout situation. The pros finally addressed that issue. A guy would grab the ball, be flying out of bounds, and call timeout on the way out. Now they've said you must at least establish yourself as having had some presence on the floor before you can call that kind of a timeout, although it still gets a little iffy once in a while.
Well, Jerry, I think that would be a good play for a rule change to come to high school as well, because as a coach, I wouldn't like to see my players in the first half, for example, waste my time out for a possession. Now, late in the game, maybe the possession's that important, but sometimes players call those timeouts, and as a coach, you wish they hadn't.
So we're down to 3:37 to go in the Class A championship game. Lafayette Central Catholic has the lead. They have the basketball. And here's a reach-in foul on Brody Boyd. And that's the third on Brody. Well, he has carried the club here in the second half after a 9-point first half when he went 4 of 7 from the field. And the free throw numbers are interesting because Lafayette Central Catholic is 14 of 16. That's 88%. And that's very good shooting. The other side of the coin, Duggar is 6 of 12. So there's a half a dozen points, maybe more, that they could have had from the line.
And when you're trying to dig out of a deficit, the team behind, those misses hurt 10 times as much as if you've got a little lead. With CC just missed, Trudeau just missed the front end of that 1-and-1, but they lead by 6. He's got a chance to take it to 7. But if you're trying to catch up, if you're a Union, you've got to make the free throws from here on out with 3 minutes and 34 seconds to go.
He missed them both, and he is now 1 for 4 from the free throw stripe with 3.5 minutes to go. It's a 6-point lead for Lafayette Central Catholic. Whitman couldn't hang on to the basketball. 3 on 3 the other way. The defenders got back in a hurry for Union Duggar. Here's the pass down low. Here's the uncontested layup by Trudeau. That's a dozen points now for Russell Trudeau, the sophomore who averages 16 a game.
Another great assist there by Best. He waited and was patient. He's big and tall enough to see over the top of that defense.
The foul is against Lafayette Central Catholic. Brody Boyd took it down to the corner to our right, forced the issue, and drew the foul.
We'll see a replay here, and you're going to see Chad Arnold. There's clearly a foul. Brody Boyd kind of leaned into him, but did not create contact, and then you had body all over him by Arnold.
Well, Boyd's not been very strong at the free throw line. He was 1 for 4, now 2 for 5. 29 points for Brody Boyd, who came in as the #1 scorer in the state of Indiana. Number 3 in Indiana career scoring, behind Damon Bailey and Marion Pierce. He got them both.
Well, you probably remember when Marion played, Jerry. I remember when Damon played.
Oh, no. I saw Damon the other night at the Hall of Fame banquet. Nice to see him.
Looked great.
Here's a foul right in front of us here. The foul is against Union Duggar's number 32. That's Goldish. That is his 4th. Yeah, Damon was at the All-Star banquet on Wednesday night, looking good.
Here's a replay, and Golish gets up and gets called for hooking him with the knee. He kind of protested that call, but it looked like a good call to me.
You know, we joke about Marion Pierce, and I didn't see him play, but I remember I've read about him, and he could flat fill it up.
I've read all the stories, and he must have been an awesome shooter. And I want to take this opportunity, Jared, to congratulate you on being inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame. The Silver Medal Award winner, very deserving, distinguished career.
You're very kind.
As president of the Hall of Fame, I'm really proud of that.
I was going to say, that's the way you got to work with us today, was the deal. I cut a deal here. So, and of course, you were inducted in last year. So, and our executive producer, Joe Pate, of course, we have to mention him also. So.
Well, very deserving honor, and we all are very proud of it.
I'm extremely proud. Nice long-range shot by Brody Boyd. Another 3 for Brody, and all of a sudden it's 72-67. Now the defense has got to step up at the other end.
It's easy to see why these are 2 of the top A teams in the state of Indiana. They just don't give up. Union got behind, and still fight back. And there's that timeout play we talked about.
Are they going to give him the timeout or not?
I think they should.
If it's Caleb Kleiber, yes, they will get the timeout. So timeout taken by Union Duggar. The coaching staff of Lafayette Central Catholic not thinking it should have been that way, but if they allow the others, and that was a good call right there also.
I thought he clearly had possession there before he came down out of bounds, and that's the way the rule is written.
It's a quick 20-second timeout, I believe. Yeah, the officials now heading back over toward the huddles. Here's the scenario. 2 minutes and 32 seconds to play in the game. And the Knights of Lafayette Central Catholic are in front 72-67 over the Union Duggar Bulldogs. And the game early on was all Lafayette Central Catholic. Dave Nicholson, they led by 18 points. We've had only 2 ties. Duggar's never led in this game. They've been banging on the door. They got it to 3, but Lafayette Central Catholic has stood up and come right back at them.
But give them credit, Union. They kept fighting, and they've got it down to 5 points. And I think probably since the first 4 or 5 minutes, they've outplayed Central Catholic. They just dug a big hole at the beginning.
Brody Boyd trying to instigate the crowd to get them into this game. That's the 3rd personal foul against Chad Arnold now for Lafayette Central Catholic.
23.
And Caleb Kleiber.
2 shots.
will go to the line with 2 shots. He is 1 for 2 in what is now an afternoon here in Indianapolis. And the free throws have not been shot very well for Union Duggar, and there's another miss. Now we got a change of the lineup for the Knights. Number 12, Richard Gilman, one of the starting guards, comes back out onto the floor.
I know this is the last thing on Brody Boyd's mind right now, but I believe he has, my unofficial stat, 33 points.
Correct.
The state record was 40 points by Dave Shepard in 1970, so he's got a shot at it with 2:25 to go.
Dave was my seatmate at the ceremony on Wednesday night, and I guarantee you if he could get out there, he could still pump them up there. Whitgren with that big, long, outstretched arm could not stop Eric Anthrop. Anthrop's first field goal here in the second half. He has 14 points. He had an 8-point second quarter when Lafayette Central Catholic established themselves as the strength of this game. Here's Brody Boyd again. Brody Boyd had 9 points at halftime. He added 16 in the third quarter. He has 10 here in the fourth quarter. And a near steal. A minute 50 to go. 74-70 in favor of Lafayette Central Catholic. Almost stolen down there by Golish. And we will get a timeout. Lafayette Central Catholic's head coach Chad Dunwoody, clear across the floor, called the timeout.
Well, I think he had best there in no man's land.
He did indeed. We'll take a timeout and come back for the final minute 43. It's 74-70. Lafayette Central Catholic over Union Duggar. Well, Union Duggar dug that big hole that we talked about earlier. They got down by 18 points in the second quarter. They chopped the lead to 3 in the third. And you see on your screen the score is 74-70. And it'll be Lafayette Central Catholic's basketball with a minute and 43 seconds to play with a Class A title on the line.
Well, I've always felt if you were the team that was ahead, there's more pressure on you when that other team makes a run in the last minute and a half, 2 minutes. And that's what Union has done. Central Catholic's going to have to make a basket or two here, in my opinion, in the last minute and 40 seconds.
Richard Gilman gets the inbounds pass, is being guarded by Brody Boyd.
They're in a delay offense, a double stack post. Call this a Billy Callett Purdue double stack delay.
Now you have to wonder just how long Union Duggar will go before they commit the personal foul.
I think they'll wait under a minute, with only being down by 4.
With no shot clock, of course, Lafayette Central Catholic can eat up as much time as they can. Now here is a foul. The foul is on number 34, and that's Brandon Chambers, third. Now the free throws become important for both ball clubs. Ryan Gilman will be at the line. He is 2 out of 2 in our first game.
Both teams in the double bonus, so every time anybody's fouled, it's 2 free throws.
Way short.
And you know from scouting reports, both coaches know who they want to foul on the opposing team, and when a team is holding the ball and stalling, it's easy to wait until the ball gets in that person's hands. I'm not saying that Gilman was it, but it could have been.
He missed them both. Whitgren could not come off with the rebound. Lafayette Central Catholic got it back, and now Josh will commit the foul. That'll be 4 on the big fella.
That was a nice take there by Russell Trudeau to the basket. He went very strong. You're going to see a replay on it. Watch big number 40, Russell Trudeau. Fakes away, put in, and that was kind of a touch foul, but says it got him on the wrist. He'll be Trudeau will be shooting 2.
Russell is 1 for 4 from the line. He missed his last 2 free throw attempts. Now we were talking about Duggar's inability to shoot free throws, and all of a sudden it's at Central Catholic.
But Jerry, when you're playing for a state championship with a minute and 11 seconds to go, that basket looks smaller than our drink cup. It looks real tiny up there.
You had a good look at Joe Hart, 56 years of age, master's degree from Indiana State. He is long since shed the sport coat. Inside to Josh. Josh had the shot blocked and a foul call. Got him on the wrist. Did Tyler best. Third foul on Tyler. And now with a minute 6 to go, we'll go to the other end and shoot free throws. 75-70 with Lafayette Central Catholic out in front.
You're going to see the pass into big Josh Whitgren. He already has it. A lot of ball. a lot of ball. I'll let people at home decide that.
He might have got him on the wrist. Now Josh will be at the line for he is 1 for 2.
Yeah, he's not Union's not able to cut into that lead to free throw line. If you're Central Catholic's coach, you're saying if we'd have hit those last 3 free throws, this game could be locked. And now if you're Joe Hart, you're saying we've got to make these and we've got a shot.
Arnold comes in. Gilman goes out. Ryan Gilman for Lafayette Central Catholic is Josh Whitgren, a 68% shooter. Takes the second of 2 and missed them both. And free throws have played an important part at both ends of the court here this afternoon.
They certainly have.
1 minute to go. Full court pressure now. We'll see how Union Duggar handles this situation. They trail by 5. They desperately need the basketball and they need to get it in the hands of Brody Boyd, of course. They will stop the clock at 52.8 with the personal foul.
They chose to put Tyler Best up there, not because it's Tyler, I think, but just because the clock. There's not enough time to wait when any certain player touches the ball. Tyler's 65% on the year, but he's had a great afternoon offensively, and that gives a young man a lot of confidence when you've had a big scoring game.
Tyler Best with 2 shots.
Best now with a double-double. He has 19 points and 10 rebounds on the day. 6'8" sophomore, averaging 14.1 points and 8.3 rebounds. That's short also. Substitution back on the floor. Ryan Gilman.
You know, I think players don't really think about after the game starts, I'm in a state championship, but when there's less than a minute to go and you're at the free throw all alone, that's got to creep into this. In a regular game, they'd be knocking the center of that net with these free throws, but they're playing for all of it today, and what a great opportunity it is for every one of these players.
And the rebound tipped back outside to Tyler Best. So when they miss him, they've been able to get the offensive board.
2 times in a critical situation that Union hasn't been able to come with the missed free throw rebound, and that's just real critical.
Now Lafayette Central Catholic will go into a spread, and Brody Boyd will pick up the personal foul. That's 4 now on the youngster, the 5'11" senior.
Foul number 11, Brody Boyd, his 4th.
Going to send the left-hander Eric Anthrop up there to the free throw line.
22, Eric Anthrop.
In the second half of the game, Brody Boyd has scored all but 11 points for Union Duggar.
I think he has 35 on the day.
Eric Anthrop steps up and very calmly knocks down the first. He missed his first in the quarter. Now has hit 3 straight. He has 15 points on the day, averaging just a touch under 13. And we're down to 41 seconds in the game. Rebound this time by Whitgren. Now they get it out in a hurry. Up court to Golish. It is
he just lost it out of bounds. I'll tell you who caused that problem. Ryan Gilman slid in there and forced him to take his eyes off the ball for a half a second. And what a big turnover that is with only 35.5 seconds left there. And CC's ahead by 6, has possession. They're in a double bonus. Everything leans their way.
It's interesting to watch Chad Dunwoody's substitution process, because each time there is a dead ball, he is making some changes either defensively or offensively to get the bodies that he wants on the floor. Duggar's 19th turnover, which has turned into 17 points for Lafayette Central Catholic.
I'm sure what Chad is doing is getting his best free throw shooters in the ball game, best ball handlers and free throw shooters with the situation like it is, because he knows Union Duggar's going to have to commit the foul.
Josh Straley's second personal foul as Lafayette Central Catholic goes back to the line. 3rd straight year in the state finals. State champions in 98, runners up in 99. Defeated Southern Wells and Triton in the Kokomo semi-state. In that Southern Wells game, Eric Anthrop went for 20. So they have spread the wealth around pretty good. Chad Arnold having a nice game off the bench.
Chad Dunwoody's comes from a very athletic family. Of course, Jan Connor, the coach at Martinsville, is his aunt.
She won two state titles. As a matter of fact.
His brother is a professional baseball player for the Kansas City Royals. Had an ankle injury last weekend, as Chad was telling me, so I hope he's doing fine, but he's in the big leagues. So pretty much an athletic family.
Well, with 33.8 remaining, it's an 8-point ball game in favor of Lafayette Central Catholic. They've got to get the ball in the hands if they can of Brody Boyd. Brody's on the other side of the floor, though, trying to get the offensive rebound. He cannot. The outlet up court in a hurry. Eric Anthrop will go in for the uncontested layup, and that's pretty much all she wrote.
That does it. 10-point game with 15 seconds left.
17 points for Anthrop, by the way. Here's the long rebound, chased down to the corner by Russell Trudeau. No sense in fouling now. The Lafayette Central Catholic Knights will go to 23-5. More importantly, they will win the Class A state championship. Here's the layup that will count. Tyler Best will finish with 21 points. And there's your final celebration.
There's your celebration on the screen, but over at the 10-second line, Brody Boyd just stood there with his head down and the emotion is pouring. What a great career that young man's had. And you know, I understand the excitement of winning, but I also understand from a coaching and playing standpoint the emotions of losing. And there's no losers here today, but when you come this far, you'd like to be state champions.
Well, he gave it his all. He literally picked the club up on his back in the second half, but Lafayette Central Catholic had too many bullets in their gun today. Let's go down and have a conversation with Chad Dunwoody, the new state champion coach. Bob Nagel has him. Bob?
Chad Dunwoody, congratulations on another state championship. You said last year your team wasn't quite hungry enough. They came out hungry today, got you off to a great start.
Well, we sure did. We got great leaders, the Gilmans, Arnold and Muller, our seniors. They've been our leaders all year long. These kids came out with a mission. We had a very, very tough sectional. They fought all the way through it. And, boy, it wasn't easy. Brody Boyd is one of the greatest players I've ever seen. He showed the whole world today that. And I'm so proud of these kids. And, you know, hopefully we'll get a chance to come back even next year.
You were on the sidelines there late in the game, and you said to your team, all the rebounds have to be ours. You got two big ones off of missed free throws, and they really were a big difference.
Well, believe it or not, we worked on that free throw play just 5 minutes of yesterday's practice, about tipping it back out to the guards, and we got 4 offensive rebounds on that. So, you know, the kids just did a great job. They kept fighting. We didn't rebound real well the second quarter. That's why we really focused that at halftime. Didn't shoot our free throws real well, but we hit enough. And, boy, we really D'd it up the last 3 minutes of the quarter.
Well, congratulations on the state championship. The John Thompson look here, folks. This guy needs a shower worse than any of the athletes. Let's go back to Jerry Baker. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
All right, Bob, it's interesting that Chad Dunwoody's already talking about next year. This is 2 minutes after he's won the state championship for the second time in 3 years. He's already saying maybe we can come back next season.
Well, if you look at the youth of some of those young men out there, Russell Trudeau, sophomore, Tyler Best, a sophomore, Kendrick, a freshman, that could well be a possibility for Central Catholic next year.
Well, they were an impressive ball club today because Union Duggar came after them a couple of times and they managed to hold them up. If we can, guys, can we swing across and pick up the Mental Attitude Award from the public address announcement here?
Member of the executive committee from Mississinewa High School.
A Mental Attitude Award is presented in each of the 20 IHSAA sports. This award is based on scholarship, mental attitude, leadership, and athletic ability. In addition to the award, Farm Bureau Insurance, the proud corporate partner of the IHSAA, will award a $1,000 scholarship to the winner's school. Before naming the winner of the Mental Attitude Award, I would like to invite the parents of the recipient to please come to the awards area to share in this honor. The recipient of this award, while a student in grade 12, was nominated by the principal and coach, excelled in mental attitude, athletic ability, scholarship, and leadership during the 4 years of high school, participated as a state finalist in this sport, and was selected by members of the IHSAA Executive Committee. The winner of the 2000 Arthur L. Trester Award for Class 1A, Clark Golish, Union High School. Wait right here because they're going to present another award, okay? And now I'd like to introduce Teresa Koopman, Director of Advertising and Promotion for Farm Bureau Insurance, to present a check in the amount of $1,000 to Union High School. This money will be added to the General Scholarship Fund of the school in the name of Clark Golish. Since 1989, over $303,000 in college scholarships have been presented by Farm Bureau Insurance to deserving high school students in our state. On behalf of the IHSAA, we say thank you to Farm Bureau Insurance for its generous support of our student athletes, and congratulations to Clark Golish and Union High School.
Clark Goldage picks up the coveted award. He had 9 points and 8 rebounds and 4 assists today. They're going to present now the runner-up medals. And let's go back across the court now to our PA announcers.
Of Owen Valley High School, assisted by Dale Crafton of New Washington. Presenting first to Brody Boyd. Clark Golish. Josh Whitgren. Caleb Kleiber. Levi Lynn. Josh Straley. Michael Bonert. Colt Stanton. Jason Ledoux. Ryan Smith. Brandon Chambers. Jason Dobbins. Student manager Lenny Wheeler. Scorer Rusty Cox. Timer Lonnie Boyd. Superintendent Richard Walters. Assistant coach Sam Carr. Assistant coach Steve Muir. Head coach Joe Hart. Assistant athletic director Jack Greenwood. Athletic director Thomas Hint. And principal Raymond Wilsey. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the presentation of the game ball and runner-up trophy to your 2000 Class 1A runner-up, Union Bulldogs.
Well, it's a tough moment for these young men, Dave Nicholson. They deserve to be extremely proud, they being the Union Duggar Bulldogs, by just getting here.
And now, ladies and gentlemen,
it's an emotional moment for it. Scott Gregg is our PA announcer. Let's go back and pick up his introduction of your new Class A state champions, the Lafayette Central Catholic Knights. Scott?
To Lafayette Central Catholic from the IHSA Executive Committee, Philip Gardner of Westdale High School and Steve Reardon of Jennings County. First to Richard Gilman. Evan Gutzweiler. James Morrow. Eric Anthra. Ryan Gilman. Kevin Muller. Chad Arnold. Christoph Kendrick. Russell Trudeau. Joel Presti. Tyler Best. Burke Richardson. Equipment manager Adam Yelton. Athletic trainer Karina Anderson. Assistant coach Brooke Jocelyn. Assistant coach Tim Bullis. Assistant coach Billy Shepard. Assistant coach John Budzinski. Assistant coach Sean Martin. Your head coach Chad Dunwoody. Assistant principal and athletic director James Jovanovic. And principal David Warland. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the presentation of your championship trophy to your 2000 Class 1A state champion, Lafayette Central Catholic Knights.
All right, they're now presenting the championship trophy to Lafayette Central Catholic Knights, the football champions this year. This is their second state championship. They were winners in '98, beating Bloomfield 56-48. Terrific school, terrific group of young men, obviously, and Chad Dunwoody, as you heard earlier, already talking about a trip coming back here next year. They were winners over Duggar, Lafayette Central Catholic 82, Union Duggar 70, despite Brody Boyd's 35 points. Lafayette Central Catholic's leading scorer was Tyler Best with 21 points and 11 rebounds. Well, the coveted award goes to Clark Golish, and he is with Bob right now. Bob?
Difficult time to talk about achievements in your own because obviously the disappointment over losing. But you guys came out and played as well as you possibly could have. There were moments when you were about ready to take the lead over Lafayette Central Catholic. They're a good basketball team. You guys, I think, did a great job representing Union.
Yeah, well, we came out and we got down big, and we just trying to struggle back. And we're not used to being down that many. We're just not used to it. So we had to come back, try and fight back the whole game. We never got over the hump.
Well, it's great to see a young man that represents getting it done in the classroom as well as on the court. And in your personal life, this is always such a meaningful award. And
Tyler Best, 21 points.
The director had me fill out some paper, but I had no clue I was going to get it. It's an honor. It's nice.
The name Clark Golish is going to go up there with a lot of great names over the years. Congratulations to you. Thank you. All right, and congratulations to Clark's parents as well. You know, behind these successful young men, there's always a great set of parents. Let's go back now to Jerry Baker courtside.
All right, thank you, Bob Niggle. Indeed, he was surprised at that honor. You were talking about my Hall of Fame thing. That came as a complete shock, and that makes it even sweeter sometimes.
It is, and he seems like a very deserving young man, and obviously he has the qualifications or he wouldn't have been nominated by his principal. And Union Duggar's got to be proud. They finished 24-4, runners-up in the state. Individually, Brody Boyd's 35 points is a Class A state final record in scoring. It doesn't break the all-time record. We mentioned Dave Shepard holds that with 40, and he beat some guy named Oscar Robertson with 39. So, Brody Boyd, I thought represented himself very well. It's not a self thing. It's not an individual thing, but he was a marquee player. He certainly stood up to his billing.
We made note of the fact, not in jest, that Lafayette Central had more bullets, and I suggested that I wasn't sure if Duggar had more than one substitute. They had two substitutes. You mentioned one of the keys of the game was use their bench. They did. The bench for Lafayette Central Catholic outscored Union Duggar 25-0.
That's just very difficult to overcome, and I thought you were talking there to the Trester Award winner Golish, and he said something. They're just not used to being behind 18 points. They got it down to 3 and had a chance to tie, had a possession, couldn't do it. But we said throughout the broadcast, Jerry, every time that happened, CC answered. And when you do that and you finish off, you deserve to be state champs. So our hats off to Lafayette Central Catholic, Coach Chad Dunwoody, and the job they did.
All right, Caleb Kleiber had 13 for Union Duggar. Josh Whitgren 11. Again, 21 points, 11 rebounds for Tyler Best for Lafayette Central Catholic. 15 points, 13 points, 10 rebounds for Russell Trudeau, and 17 for Eric Anthrop. Final score again, 82-70 Lafayette Central Catholic. Welcome back to Conseco Fieldhouse. Jerry Baker here along with Dave Nicholson. Bob Niggles doing our sideline reporting and talking to everybody that moves out there today. There's your final score. Lafayette Central Catholic 82, Union Duggar Bulldogs 70. Take a look at some of the statistics on this game here, which is now an afternoon game, and you'll find very quickly, first off, there aren't that many discrepancies, Dave, as you look at the number of shots, number of makes, but on down the way there are some things that jump out at you.
Well, the one thing that jumps off a little bit is 5 more turnovers by Union-Duggar in a close ball game. That comes back to bother you a little bit. And if you look at the free throw shooting, 50%, 9 of 18. Not only did Central Catholic get 30 attempts compared to 18, but they hit 20 of those. They hit 2/3 of them, whereas while Union-Duggar was only hitting 50%, and most of those come late. I thought there was 3 or 4 or 5 opportunities that Union had to step up there and cut that lead down and get the game perhaps even tied, and they just weren't able to make them. And they had good free throw shooters at the line. So that's probably the biggest difference as you look at that. The rest of it's pretty equal. 3 points, 35% apiece, and the field goals almost equal at 46 for Union-Duggar. Actually shot 2% better than did Lafayette Catholic. Rebounds almost a wash. So it comes down to free throw shooting, but I think the key was the one you mentioned there a few minutes ago in the bench. Lafayette Catholic just had more players that come in, and you had more players step up, and had a great game there by Tyler Best particularly, and then the senior Eric Anthrop came in and put up 17 points.
Yeah, Union had only 2 players off the bench. John Straley played 9 minutes, and Michael Bonner played only 1 minute. And not that these young kids can't go forever, as kids seem to be able to do these days. As you watch the nets being cut down now, that's up on the rim by James Morrow, the 6-foot junior. But it's simply a matter of after a while, and the youngster pointed it out, they're not used to being that far behind, but after a while you go, yeah, we just made a good run. You look up the scoreboard and you're either behind by more or it's about the same, and you go mentally, it kind of wears on you after a while.
Well, from a coaching standpoint, you talk about the start of the game, the first 3 minutes. Everybody talks about the first 3 minutes of the second half and the closing 3 minutes, and that first 3 or 4 minutes of the first quarter was what established this ball game and what eventually determined the outcome of the game. Central Catholic, I thought, came out extremely aggressive. They had all their players going to the basket very hard and just came out with a great deal of confidence. I'm not sure that's not because of the tradition of them being here 3 years in a row and having won the state 2 years ago and runner-up last year. That gives you a little more comfortable feeling coming into this type of situation than if you've never been here before.
Even though it's a different venue, you have been here, you have gone through the sleep, the meals, eating out, the pressure of playing in front of probably 15,000 people here this afternoon, or 16,000 people. And even though kids seem to adjust to anything these days, this is a totally different structured environment for your basketball game when you're used to playing in front of maybe 500 or 600 people.
And 4 of their starters played the majority of that game last year, at least in the runner-up, and some of those young men played in the state championship game 2 years ago. So I think that was the difference. It was a great start to the day. We've got the Class A champion out there in Lafayette Central Catholic, and a great representative from Union High School, in my opinion. And if Joe Hart does stay with his second retirement, I wish him well. He's had a tremendous career. He closes out at 291 and 165, all at one school, which is very unusual, as you know, to stay in one place that long.
But my question is, when a guy's 56, what does he do when he retires?
Well, he likes to mushroom hunt. I know that. and he's down in that, you know that area.
Well, then I don't want to appear to be begging, but if you've never had fresh mushrooms cooked right out of the field, Joe, if you get too many, Dave and I will take some of those, because that's one of the most delicious treats in the world. So a lot of folks go, I've had those at the restaurant on steaks. No, you haven't. You have not had them until you've had them right out of the field. So we'll see what happens down there.
You got to have those morels out of the woods and down around Valonia. You grew up in Sullivan County. I grew up little town of Valonia in Jackson County. That's a big deal in the springtime, and I bet they're out there picking them today.
Could be. Well, you see the celebration going on the court. Lafayette Central Catholic. They have cut down the nets here at Conseco Fieldhouse. They will now head to their locker rooms here in this fine facility, and very shortly we'll have Westview and Winchester out on the court to take over the floor and play for the AA championship. But our congratulations going out to the Lafayette Central Catholic Knights. They were simply too much for the Union-Duggar Bulldogs today as they win it 82-70.